Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boy Mo. And today I'm going to be reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 4. It's entitled Something Borrowed, Something Green, and it's come to you from Paramount Plus. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. In this episode of Lower Decks, we got A and B plot. The A plot is that Tendi is reluctantly going back to Orion for her sister's wedding, and she brings T'Lyn and Mariner along for a girls' trip, out to the planet Orion. And in the meantime, we got Rutherford and Boimler, who are best roommates, who suddenly have a disagreement about their bonsai and figure out how they can settle their differences holodeck style, and maybe they can help the captain with her own diplomatic situation. So let's talk about Boimler and Rutherford first, because the boys are taking a back seat this week to the girls. They are best roommates, but they clash and they decide, we're gonna just forget about our disagreement about who gets to spritz the dang bonsai tree. That's the level of the difficulty these two are dealing with, is that they're just too good of roommates except for that one thing. So they go to the holodeck to do their little Mark Twain thing. Yes, they're doing a historical thing where one of them gets to be Mark Twain, but instead they're both Mark Twain. So we're thinking like, oh man, these guys, they're gonna finally actually duke it out. But it's not the 21st century, it's the 24th century, and that's not the way they roll. So they end up basically being Mark Twain to each other, and in genteel Southern gentlemen sort of way work out their problems with each other. And so I guess this matters because later on in the episode, the captain is having difficulty with another alien captain. I don't even remember what the heck the guy's name was. He looked like Brack from freaking what was it? Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Made me think of him, but he's real like, no one will get to do this little scanning or whatever of this nebula that oscillates, and if we don't get it, you don't get it. No, and they're like, well, we know how you guys can bridge this divide. And it's just a gag to get that dude to be dressed up like Mark Twain. And it's silly as hell because this is Lower Decks. Why wouldn't it be? And we also get the captain. And I love that they probably just told Dawn Lewis, like, look, do a really terrible Southern, planter accent. I'm sure it'll work itself out. And the captain rightly asked, like, what the hell does this have to do with diplomacy? And it leads them to back to their quarters, where they show them the bonsai and what started everything. And then that seems to be the answer, because the other captain eats their bonsai and it's like, cool, you guys can scan the things too while we're there. Diplomacy. Like, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't have to. Honestly, they're a more nonsensical thing in live action Star Trek. So, hey, all that matters is, at the end of the day, we got Boimler and Rutherford to both dress up as Beethoven and play the harpsichord. So, yeah, we got to take our wins where we get them. But the real meat of this episode, the best part of this episode, to be honest, is Tendi and T'Lyn and Mariner going to Orion for this big wedding. And we find out that, man, Tendi don't really say much. Mariner literally says, oh, we don't really know anything about you because you don't want to talk about yourself. And it turns out that, oh, wait a minute, Tendi is from a big pirate family and she's rich as hell. And as Mariner says, I'm from a post-scarcity civilization, and even I'm impressed by this. I like that T'Lyn in this episode became a real character to me. She's not just, a Vulcan stereotype or just kind of a person that's there. She became a real character in this episode. in my opinion. She does so well with the other two. With Tendi, she's uptight about showing every kind of Orion stereotype, and it turns out she was raised to be an Orion stereotype, literally an assassin of sorts, but instead chose to go to Starfleet. And this is revealed over the course of the episode when her exploit. She has a title. She's like, I forget what it was, something of the 9 moons or something like that. Whatever. I might be thinking of something else, but she has a title. She has all this history going through doing dangerous stuff. She's, super competent at like fighting and intimidating people and everything. Probably explains a lot about things we've seen in the past on Lower Decks. But also, people know who she is, and she can get in anywhere. People are just like, oh, no, groveling and everything like that. And Tendi keeps being like, oh, it's not what you think it is and everything. It's so fun. And Mariner, there's the gag with Mariner and the knife getting stabbed in the same place on her shoulder every time. I love that. I liked when I said T'Lyn, like she's Vulcan, but her kind of deadpan, half eyelidded, just like delivery of observation, it was just fun. Even when she was saying a guy was hot, she said it in the most Vulcan way possible, and it was just spot on funny. And watching them just go through Orion kind of culture and seeing like they went to a pheromone, a pheromone, I don't know what would it be, a whorehouse, I guess would be, was real fun. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing Tendi just kind of go ham here and there. And then, just exposing all of the things that if you were a Star Trek fan, you're like, oh, that's an Orion thing. Oh, that's an Orion thing. Even though all Orions obviously aren't like that. And then later on seeing that she ultimately, she's there to find her sister. Then ultimately she does find her sister, and we realize like, oh, the sister is mad but not mad about having to take Tendi's place, and she's actually really good. And you see Tendi sword fight with her, and she ends up losing the fight. And I believe, honestly, that Tendi lost. She didn't lose because she threw the fight, but she lost. And just finding out that her sister Derica just wants to actually be the assassin for the family, but she also was sort of mad about not being given a choice, even though she really wanted it. It was just a nice little bonding moment. I think Tendi, I don't know if she's my favorite character, but she's pretty close. And I really enjoyed seeing her just kind of being a badass, but also being a good sister and everything. And I love the commentary by Mariner and, Mariner and T'Lyn as they go through this episode. I thought it was really fun, like at the end of it all. And I want to see more of these pair ups. Like now that there's a 5th person in, in the group, they can pair in different ways that are a lot more interesting. So we've seen T'Lyn and Boimler so far, and I'm hoping we see T'Lyn and Rutherford and Tendi or Mariner. I just mix and match. I like to see more of that. That would be fun. Overall, though, really like this episode. I had a good time. Very funny. A good mix of action and like exposition, and not as much poking fun at Star Trek as we usually would get. And even having Mariner take a back seat in this episode was nice. She's usually very strong and like, takes over a scene. So it was nice to see her really not be able to do that because Orions don't play. So, and seeing that Tendi don't play, and I actually at this point I'm like, would I pick Mariner over Tendi in a fight? I don't know if I could do that now. Not that I want to see them fight, but I'm just saying, would it happen? So overall, like I said, good episode. I really enjoyed this one. Glad that that they really found a good balance in this episode. So either way, what did you guys think about this episode? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comments section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or @supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the channel so that more people will see it and will see these videos. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. Going to be talking about episode 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks. Till then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.